Hello students, welcome to my channel Brothers Academy. Today we will continue with the first chapter of our computer book, Evolution of Computers, Chapter 1, Part 3. In today's video, we will discuss the questions raised in the previous session, followed by the remaining generations of computer. Finally, we will end the session with a short quiz. So, let's begin. So the first question which we raised in the previous session was, what is the main component in the first generation computers? And the answer is, vacuum tubes is the main component in the first generation computers. The second one, name the first electronic computer that used stored programs. And the answer is, the first electronic computer that used stored program was EDSEC, Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator. Then, who designed Mark I? And the answer is, Mark I was designed by Howard H. Aiken. The next one, which generation mainly used batch processing? And the answer is, batch processing was mainly used in the first generation. In this generation, punched cards, paper tape, magnetic tape, input and output devices were used. The last one, what is the period of first generation computers? And the answer is, the period of first generation computers is 1940 to 1958. So now let's go to today's session. Second generation computers. The period of second generation computer is 1959 to 1964. Now let us discuss some of the characteristics of the second generation computers. The main component in the second generation computer is transistor, which replaced the vacuum tubes used in the first generation computers. They had very high speed input output device. Size was reduced because of the transistor coming into picture. They were more reliable than the first generation computers. They had many components, but the main ones were printer, memory, disk storage, operating system, which are associated with the modern day computers. They were easier to program than the first generation computers, as a result of which they had a greater commercial use. Invention of high-level language like COBOL and Fortran came into picture during the second generation computers. Examples are IBM 1401 and RCA 501. So the points which you need to remember regarding the second generation computers are the period of second generation computer, main component is transistor, size was further reduced compared to the first generation computers, high speed input output devices, components include printer, memory, disk storage, operating system, invention of high level languages like COBOL and Fortran came into use during this time, and the examples of second generation computers. Now let's take a look at the third generation computers. The main component in the third generation computer is integrated circuit. Integrated circuit consists of thousands of circuits that have been put into small chip of silicon. The period of third generation computer is 1964 to 1970. They were smaller in size because of the development of integrated circuit. Quite fast, able to reduce the computational time from microsecond to nanosecond. Use of magnetic storage device like magnetic ink, character reader, etc. came into use during the third generation computers. Operating system allowed machine to run many programs simultaneously, so the concept of multitasking came into picture during the third generation computers. They used a keyboard to input the data and monitor to display the results. So input output devices like keyboard and monitor came into use during the third generation computers. Examples are IBM 360 and IBM 370. They are the example of third generation computers. So the points which you need to remember regarding the third generation computers are the period of third generation computers, main component is integrated circuit, smaller in size, quite fast, multitasking, and the examples of third generation computers. Now, let us discuss the fourth generation computer. Here, the main component is the microprocessor, wherein all the components of the CPU are on a single chip. They are based on the very large scale integrated circuit. They are also known as the present day computers. Because of the microprocessor, the size was further reduced compared to the previous generation computers. Concept of internet. Now, the computers can be networked together or linked together. So, the concept of internet came into picture during the fourth generation computers. Improved storage compared to the previous generation computers. Examples are IBM PC and Apple Macintosh. So the points which you need to remember regarding the fourth generation computers are period of fourth generation computers, microprocessor is the main component, smaller in size, concept of internet came into picture, improved storage and the examples. Now let us discuss about the fifth generation computers. They are known as the supercomputers and the examples are Cray CS 300. So these supercomputers have very high storage capacity, extremely high speed and the ability to carry out highly sophisticated operations such as weather forecasting. They are based on the ULSI ultra large scale integration technology. Use of artificial intelligence came into picture during the fifth generation computer. Students, artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science that aims to create computers which can think, behave, and react in the same way as humans do. Huge development of storage compared to the previous generation computers. All kind of high level languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, etc. came into use during the fifth generation computer. Time for some of the important facts. Param 8000 was the first supercomputer made in India. Param means supreme in Sanskrit and it is an acronym for parallel machine. Second important fact, Intel developed the first commercially available microprocessor called Intel 4004 in 1971. So, the students, the points which you need to remember regarding the fifth generation computers are the period of our fifth generation computers. They are referred to as the supercomputers. Example of the fifth generation computer based on which technology, use of artificial intelligence, huge development of storage, and all kinds of high level languages is there in the fifth generation computers. So now let us summarize all the generations of computer. First generation based on the vacuum tubes, very big, very bulky, high power consumption because of the vacuum tubes. Second generation, based on the transistor, had the components which are associated with the modern day computers, printer, memory, disk, storage, operating system, etc. Smaller, faster, and cheaper. Programming language came into use during this time like COBOL and Fortran. Third generation computers on the integrated circuit. Further reduction in size. Operating system was able to carry out the multiple tasks simultaneously. Fourth generation computers, present day computers, wherein we have the greater computing power, greater storage capacity. The main component is the microprocessor, wherein you have all the components of CPU on a single chip. Fifth generation computers based on the ultra large scale integration technology, referred to as the supercomputers, extremely high speed, sophisticated operations such as weather forecasting is there in the fifth generation computers. They are based on the artificial intelligence. So this is the summary of all the generations of computer which we discussed. Now, time for a short quiz. First one I have for you is give an example of a supercomputer. The second one, what is the full form of ULSI? Third one, what is the main component in the third generation computers? Now you need to identify this picture for me. What is this picture? Thank you students for your time. I will be uploading the remaining videos of chapter 1 in the coming days. Till then, bye bye. Take care.